Well, today I have the privilege of speaking with #1 Amazon bestselling author John Browning. We're talking about your book, John, Build a Life, Not a Portfolio. And thanks for spending some time with me and unpacking this.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, it's really good because what you do is help people not just save for retirement, but really to build a portfolio that supports their life today and into the future and generationally if they so choose. And in chapter 3 of your book, you titled it The Snowflake Theory. What in the world is the snowflake theory?
Well, no two fingerprints are the same, and also no two snowflakes are the same. I don't know who did that research, but evidently it's true. No two snowflakes are exactly the same. That water didn't freeze the same way. And I find that it's the same way with people. It's not just our fingerprints that are different, but it's our perspectives. When I was going through sort of the end of high school and the beginning of when I started my college career, one of the things that I was really into was photography. And I found that almost all photographers or just general people taking pictures tend to take them with that same straight on perspective. Either it's far away or it's close up or something like that. What I found is that when you take things at a different angle, maybe way down low, way up high, or maybe to the side, maybe tilt the camera a little bit, that made for some interesting perspectives and some really fascinating pictures because it wasn't the way that other people viewed things, right?
Yeah.
Call me just weird. That could be the other part.
That's right.
But I found that that's what people go through, right? Some of us are short, some of us are tall, some of us were born in West Virginia like I was, and some of us were born in California. Or where were you born?
Kokomo, Indiana.
Kokomo, Indiana. Yeah. Fabulous place. I have no idea.
Beach Boys sang about us, I think, right?
I think that's the same place.
Different place, but
but you think about it, like I've traveled all over, right? I've traveled all over the United States, several different countries, and you'll find that from like New York, New Jersey to Midwest Chicago, and California, and then I spent about a year in Hawaii. Did some of our podcasts from Hawaii. I mean, the cultures and the perspectives are so much different. And none of them are bad. It's just they're different, right? And you can tell now. I'm down to South Florida. A lot of Chicago and New Jersey, New York transplants down here, including myself. And you can just tell, even on the roads, by the way.
Oh, I bet.
You ever driven in South Florida, I-95?
Yeah. It's an experience. It is an adventure, that's for sure. So that relates to what you do, the snowflake theory, in that every client is different, right? Is that what you're trying to get at?
That's exactly right. All of that to say that when I speak with a client, especially for that first time, one of the things we're trying to get to, not just what money means to them, not just their values, but also sort of the why behind it, which gets to their perspectives. How were those perspectives formed? How were those values formed? And more importantly than that, as I discover that about people and I get to know them on a personal level, it helps me. Number one, I respect everybody's personal journey, and nothing is wrong with anybody's journey. It just is what it is. But it helps me understand not just where we're starting from, but where we might want to end and what experiences they might want to see and experience along the way and what things are going to possibly really bother them. It explains a lot when you really get to know the person behind the money and what you're trying to create.
Yeah. And that's where you really shine at Guardian Rock Wealth, is taking somebody who would be called a prospect, becoming a client, having then conversations, because I think one of your first interactions with that client is really a deep conversation to help them, to help you better discover and understand them. Because one thing you don't do at Guardian Rock Wealth is you don't pull off the shelf a predetermined portfolio package that you're going to fit somebody into.
That's right.
Talk about that, because that's kind of unique.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I find that that's a really common way to advise clients, is to put them in boxes 1 through 5. They're in one of those boxes in terms of their risk parameters and all that. And I understand that it's a way to scale your business, right? I completely get that. I just don't think it's necessarily right for most people, because that one size fits all approach. I know there's some fabric out there that can be one size fits all, but you're going to have to face it. I'm a triple XL, right? I mean, it's some of those one size fits alls do not fit me.
That's right.
You're not going to see that, okay? And the same thing with your portfolio and your plan and what you want your best life to be there. There's not a one particular road that gets you there for everybody. And even bifurcating it up into 4 or 5 things doesn't really work. It doesn't work well. I'll say that. It doesn't work well.
Yeah. So understanding that you are a snowflake, you are unique. Your perspective is different from everybody else, and that's okay. You do have a different risk tolerance, which John needs to know, but that's just one element of the snowflake, of the DNA of what makes you you. And how does that play into your value system? How you think about money, what it means to you, what are you trying to accomplish? All of these questions are what John and his team at Guardian Rock Wealth begin with. And I'm sure some people say, really, just poke me in the eye with a stick, John. Can't you just make it simple? Well,
I make it as simple as I can, but no simpler. I think Einstein said that, right?
I like it. Yeah. But it really is a matter of finding somebody you can trust, somebody you can connect with. And John becomes, and we'll talk about this in future episodes, is not just your financial advisor, but he really becomes an intricate part of your whole family dynamic. And sometimes he can be the bad guy. And we'll talk about that too. But he's an advocate for you. I think that's the word I was looking for, is to find somebody that when the markets go up, what are you going to do? When the markets go down, what are you going to do? Well, hopefully you'll call your advocate, John, and say, John, here's what I'm thinking, and let him, who has lots of experience and an outside perspective, counsel you based upon the answers you've given him in those early discussions, right? That's what it's all about. And John and his whole team at Guardian Rock Wealth just do a phenomenal job of building relationships first, so that, as his book says, he can help you build a life, not just a portfolio. So, John, it's fun to understand I'm a snowflake, and everybody is. We have different unique perspectives.
Not like just a snowflake.
I'm not. Yeah, exactly. I'm a snowflake. That's right. I appreciate that. And I appreciate what you do. And just let me encourage people to reach out to you, guardianrockwealth.com, John Browning, and request a copy of his #1 Amazon bestselling book, Build a Life, Not a Portfolio. And then request a call with him, a Zoom call, an in-person call, phone call, and just have a conversation, see how he can help you, see if John's perspective around money and finances matches or is in line with your perspective, and then take it from there. Fair enough?
That's fair enough.
Awesome. John Browning, thank you for being with us today. Have a great afternoon.
All right. You as well.